want to come to you, Rui Ferreira, first, because you've been fighting this menace of drugs in Goa for a long time. Do you believe that Sonali Phogat's case is a one-off, or do you believe even today there are shacks along the beach which are freely dealing in drugs with drug peddlers freely roaming around? Mr. Ferreira?
Can't hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. My question to you, do you believe this Sonali Phogat case is a one-off, or do you believe that drugs are still freely being made available and the possibility therefore of drug overdoses or drinks being mixed in these parts of Anjuna are still happening?
Goa has been an endemic in drugs. This is because you are catching the tail end of the drug scenario. What about the drug lords? The drug lords are behind the screen. They are going after small fish, the peddlers, the tiny fish, which you feel under your feet to get a nice massage. But the main sharks who are in political robes, who are in league with the police, they are involved, and they are the people shielding the drug racket.
So are these drug lords based in Goa, or are they outside Goa and dealing with the local sarpanches and the local politicians?
This drug racket began in 1975. It's almost 47 years when the hippie culture came to Goa. So 47 years, it has grown tremendously, because where there is demand, there is supply.
But who are the drug lords, Rui? Who are the drug lords, Rui? Are they politicians? Are they local sarpanches? Are they people who've come from outside Goa? Who do you believe are running the drug business? Who is running the drug business?
I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, I'll try and get back to you, Rui Ferreira, about that. But B.V. Kumar, as a former NCB chief, when I look at these drug seizure numbers, Goa doesn't, interestingly, rank among the top. Punjab, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, much higher in numbers, narco crimes, drug seizures. However, what we see in Goa, very low conviction, even in the cases where people are actually charged with drug crimes, conviction rate is very low, just about 2-3%. So I just wonder whether the problem lies in actually cracking down and ensuring conviction of those involved. Even in Curly's, the owner has been arrested in the past, and yet his restaurant license is never cancelled.
Radeep, thanks for inviting me. If you give me a minute, I'll give historically what I've seen myself, what is happening in Goa. 1976, I visited Goa in my official capacity as Commissioner of Customs, Bombay, and I found to my shock that Anjuna beach, which was very sparsely populated at that point of time, was being used for sunbathing by the foreign tourists, totally naked, lying on the beaches. There were a number of shacks where, when I walked along the beach, I found they were freely selling hashish and ganja at that point of time. Synthetic drugs did not enter Goa at that point of time, because even in India it was not available. Then subsequently in 83, when CHOGAM was held, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, then chartered planes started coming, and then hordes of tourists were coming. Even earlier there was a hippie trail, if you recall. Summer they used to spend in Nepal, and winter they used to come and freely, basically to enjoy the drugs that was freely available. Now,
so that is 70s, 80s, sir, with due regard, we are in 20, sir, Mr. Kumar, we are in 2022. Let's not go into the past.
I'll come to the, I'll come to the present situation. All the time we have been thinking that probably Goa was a distribution center where they catered to the tourists, both the Russians, the Israelis who have now declined, and the Nigerians who are in a big way operating a number of drug distribution channels. But things have changed. Now foreign travel chartered flights are regularly coming, and except for the pandemic period, they used to bring 1,000 tourists during the season, starting from October to April. Now a part of the trip, they used to come basically to Bombay, but the trip to Goa was sponsored by the drug mafias. and so they used to get a free stay plus free this thing, and they were taking drugs out of Goa. At one time we thought Goa was only a consuming center. Now Goa has become a transit and exporting country as far as export of drugs are concerned. They export MDMA, they export cocaine, and to other destinations. This is the change that has happened and other things. You can't say that Goa police have been keeping quiet. For example, in 2007 they seized 70 kgs of various types of narcotic drugs. In 78 they seized about 92 kgs of narcotic drugs. In 2022, in the first half itself, they seized drugs worth 2 crores. 54 persons, including 11 foreigners, have been arrested.
Yes.
Most of the persons arrested are non-Goans. In the last 6 months, ganja, hashish, LSD, MDMA, cocaine, heroin were seized.
But under the NDPS Act, the convictions are only 3.4%. In Goa itself, the convictions are just 3.4% in the last 5 years. And many of these peddlers are coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because earlier Goa did not have a testing center. I think now it has been set up. So they used to send to the forensic laboratory, Central Forensic Laboratory at Hyderabad. So there was a delay in getting the reports, and now in Goa itself they have the facility of testing the drugs.
Right.
So conviction rate will be faster. That's what I hope.
Okay, you hope.
And
that's
what
you
is
hope.
important is the political will to stop.
You're saying the political
will should be there to stop the drug trafficking. There should be a balance between the requirement for tourists and for promoting the tourist industry as against suppression of drug trafficking.